What is up guys, this is dpYGO coming at you with a discussion video today and kind of a response to dpYGO aka Drew, and he did a video on the importance of scrubs in Yu-Gi-Oh! Now I'm not going to use the term scrubs because I feel it's quite a negative connotation on a player, but nevertheless, newer players and casual players in this game are, I feel, more important than a lot of people give them credit. So the normal scenario where a old school / competitive player will have a type of encounter they'll have with a newer player or a casual player will normally be around locals, where the casual player or the newer player will be playing some form of deck that isn't considered to be meta and is quite low down the tier list. And in that, there are two ways you can basically take that duel. You can either trounce them and leave it at that and just say, oh, I played the scrub player, oh, I was playing such a terrible deck. Or you can really enjoy the duel and give them points and tips. I do this a lot. I am in the latter category completely, because at the end of the day, we were all a new player. We were all a quite low tier casual player, because that's the way you get into the game. I fully believe that when someone starts out in this game, they are no way considered to be a pro competitive player, because you don't know anything about the game. You buy the starter decks and you then work your way up buying the packs and the structure decks and really getting into it. You find friends in the game, you test, and you go to your first big event, and you probably don't do all that well. Obviously there are some people that do, but nevertheless, you are never amazing at the game from day one. You always need to learn how to, get better, to improve the plays that you make, improve the deck that you choose. When you play these newer duelists, or when they have a non-competitive deck because they can't afford it or whatever, I always take it upon myself to talk to them while I'm playing, talk to them about possible card choices they could have or just how to improve their deck, because I feel as an old school player who knows a lot about this game that it's only fair to pass on any knowledge to someone. Now, there are those two types of people. One that will happily welcome any advice and always talk about it and say, oh, this is just a deck that I'm picking up. Or there will be someone who's very locked in their ways and won't accept any of your advice. Now, if they don't accept any of your advice, then that's fine. You can just finish the duel and away you go. But to those people that actually will listen, it is invaluable knowledge. Because I remember the days when I was a young kid starting out in the game, and there were some older players who were more invested in it than I was, because it was just a hobby at the time. And they helped me out a lot with certain card choices, talking to just about how the proper rulings work and all that. And I will never forget that, because it's made me into the player that I am now. The most recent nationals that I went to, in round 2 I played against someone who you could say didn't have a meta deck. It was a deck that was just built up of a couple of random cards really, and a lot of the plays that they were doing were considered to be technically bad. But straight away I knew that he was quite a new player, and I asked him saying, how long you've been playing the game? And he said that he hasn't been playing it all that long. Throughout the duel, it was one of the, I wouldn't say one of the nicest duels, because throughout that weekend there were some absolutely incredible duels, but it was a really relaxed duel. It was really nice. I explained to him completely everything that I was doing and asked if he had any certain type of responses, and I said if you had XYZ type of card set down, you could do it then, or you could disrupt my play, so on and so forth, like this. And I feel that it's only fair to give this advice to these players, because so many times I'll see someone who has a meta deck will just finish the round in about 2 or 3 minutes, and the actual new player won't learn anything. In all fairness, if I was in that position and someone just went all out, trounced me, and just left, picked up and walked off and just did the usual GG, then it's actually quite discouraging for a player to actually try and get into the game, especially if you're just getting into it and you see such a higher level of, wow, that's pretty ridiculous and it doesn't seem like there are any nice people in this. It's really unfair and really discouraging for someone to actually get into the game. The actual fundamental importance of newer players in this game and casual players is also on Konami's side, with the simple fact that they buy products. Now, with some quote-unquote pro players, they might not actually buy products technically from Konami. They'll buy singles which is from a third party. And what you got to remember is, if we only had a competitive scene where, say, 20% of the player base only bought products and the rest bought all the singles, there wouldn't be a Yu-Gi-Oh game for very long, because Konami need that new player base. They need that generation of product and generation of profit to be able to continue to host these different tournaments, to bring out these new sets. And it's just a nice way that circles around. Because at the end of the day, it's just really, really refreshing to see new players in the game. And some of my subscribers are new players as well. They say in different tournaments that I go to that they watch my channel and they've picked up either a Skull Servant deck or a Held Perfection and started building on that. And to me, that gives me a real good sense of satisfaction, simply because it feels that I'm giving back to the community, which I've always wanted to do. Hence why I'm a judge, and I absolutely love doing that. So it's a bit of a different video today, and just something to kind of reflect on your opinion of how you think that newer players in this game really affect us to the very top level, because without them we probably wouldn't even have a chance to get up there, simply because these tournaments might not be on as much. So as I said, let me know down in the comment section below, let me know what you think, like, comment, subscribe, and I should catch you guys later.